doing comedy at a church. Like, how's this gonna work out, really? I mean, some people are like, I just came to see this thing explode. What's so amazing about doing comedy at church, when I was a kid, laughing at church was illegal. You couldn't laugh at church. I remember one time laughing at church because this lady was jumping around and her wig fell off. That stuff was funny. Her wig fell off and then I laughed. My grandmother would pinch and twist. I can understand a pinch. You gonna twist? That's the devil. Church was the worst. Oh my goodness. Church lasts like 6 hours. Dude on stage is mad at everybody. I can't figure out why he's so angry. 7 years old, I figured out why he was so angry. He was angry because he had some phlegm caught in his throat. So at the end of every sentence, he'd try to get it out. He'd be like, the Lord said, act like you. I'm like, Grandma, he need to gargle, Grandma. I'm 7 years old, man. Church lasts 6 hours, too. Then we go in the basement and eat a sandwich and come back up. I'm like, what was that, a halftime or something? Actually, I'm gonna be real with you. There's enough black people here. It was always chicken. Why we always gotta eat chicken? Every single time. I know, I had to tell them. I'm sorry, we had church, you know? And tuna. At the end of church, they would ask us, I was like, so you wanna go, after this, we all gonna go to the sister church. I don't even like the brother church. One time I get to church, 7 years old, there's a dead body in the front. It's a funeral. Nobody explains that to a 7-year-old Michael Jr. I'm thinking that's how they roll. Like every 3 weeks or so, they bring a dead body in as an example or something. And the dude on stage yell at everybody in the audience like they the ones that did it. I remember asking my grandmother, I'm looking for some explanation. I'm like, Grandma, what happened to the man in the box? What happened to the man in the box? Her whole explanation was, he in a better place. I'm like, what kind of box did he live in before? Dude on stage said he went to see the king. That was his whole explanation. He went to see the king. I don't understand what that meant. Didn't even call the kids choir to sing. I was in the kids choir, not because I wanted to be in the kids choir. I was in the kids choir because I was a kid. And it was a requirement. Now, what song we got to sing? Soon and very soon, we are gonna see the king. I want to see the king. I want to see the king. You ever go to a funeral and people always talking about the person in the box like they sure he going to heaven? And then they tell you and then the people get up there, they always talking about him. And the last thing you know, like the dude stabbed 3 people and he never prayed one time in his life. All of a sudden, everybody, like, he going to heaven. Like, I'm sure Uncle John is looking down at me right now, and a little tear is going down his eye. I'm like, he probably looking up at you right now. Listen, that's a sweat bead, is what it is. A sweat bead rolling over. I just made that up right now. I just made that up. Even as a kid, growing up, we were poor. We weren't even poor, we were po. We couldn't afford the other letters, man. We had no money. I was actually being sponsored by a family from Haiti. creativity excels. Like it really, really excels. I remember I wanted an action figure when I was 10 years old. I wanted an action figure so bad. My birthday came along. My dad hands me a box. I open it up. It's empty. He said, "It's Invisible Man." I was like, "That is awesome." I played with that thing for like 3 weeks, man. So my brother hid it from me. Couldn't find it nowhere, man. I knew he took it. We played games. We just made up games. We played this one game called Talk About You. The instructions were to just talk about you. That's all we did. We talked about each other. My friends would talk about me, like, "Michael Jr., you got some big feet." And I was good at this game. I was like, "Oh yeah, well, you so dark-skinned. I bet if you ride a motorcycle, you get a ticket for tinted windows." It's hilarious. White people looking for black people, make sure they can laugh. Is it okay? It's okay. You sure? No? We ain't had no money, man. My parents would buy us some stuff, but they couldn't pay for everything. Like we had the game Operation, right? We ain't had no batteries. Then my cousin came over and he figured out a way how to plug it into the wall, right? It's a whole nother game now, man. The Operation Roulette is what we called it. It was Operation Roulette. Just played one time. We played one time. I was like, "Nah, I don't want to play. I don't want to play." Like, it ain't my turn. Somebody else better go. Actually, you know what? I made that up. We weren't poor when I was a kid. I just said that because some jokes are funnier. Some jokes are funnier from a poor perspective. I'm gonna prove it right now. Here's a great example. I'm gonna tell you the exact same joke from a prosperous perspective. Watch what happens. When I was a kid, my parents bought us the game Operation, and we played it. So. It's not as funny, is it? It's better if I was poor.